I'm Dan Borsey with WorthPoint.com. I'm standing here with Johnny Cash and his assistant Nicole. John deals in a lot of obsolete banknotes, rare banknotes, error currency. He's picked out some notes and he's going to show us a little sampling of some United States currency through the years.
We're going to have what we call large size currency and small size currency. You can notice the different size of them. The last time they printed large size was in 1923, which is the $10 bill. Now you'll notice on the small size, what we have here, this is called an error note. This is called a double impression, where the plate was actually printed twice. The reverse is always printed first. And then what they do in the printing process is the second side is printed second, which you will see right here. And the third print is actually the seals and the signatures. That's why it's a 3 printing process. Another example would be something like this. It would get through the process of where the back didn't get printed.
Yep.
And another good example of error notes, which are real popular, is the whole back. It's called missing the first print. And where you can see in the front is actually still printed. Now actually when they have errors like this, the BEP has already printed what they call star notes. A star note will be a note that has a star right behind the serial number. But those are to replace the error notes that the BEP catches. He started these in 1928, and from 1862 up until 1928 they used a larger size. And this is real popular. As you can see, all the detail, the engraving in the old days was considerably nicer than it is today. It always depicted a scene of United States history. And this bison was actually in a zoo back in 1908. The engraver made an impression of it on the back. It shows the allegorical of liberty. This is called the Eagle note. It was printed in 1899 and it was printed up until 1923. But you'll notice it still has the 1899 date. They didn't change the dates like they do coins. And it's just a very popular, called the Eagle. This happens to have a solid serial number, which is, some collectors like fancy serial numbers like solids or low 1 or 2 digits or star notes. And on the back, once again, you can see the detail of some of the older notes. This is called the Chief note. This is also a silver certificate. This particular Indian is the only Indian that they actually have on currency. It's a main figure. And it's a $5 silver certificate, and it's redeemable in silver. Back in the old days, they don't redeem them in silver or gold any longer. But it's the detail on them that separates them from the days what I call bland currency.
Explain to the viewers what exactly the people had to go through when they were making these type of notes.
They had to engrave the plates by hand, and they had to engrave them in reverse of the way they were printed. It's sort of like looking at a negative and doing it backwards. And the multicolored fibers were randomly put in the notes to help prevent the counterfeiting of the currency. Another good note, which is probably one of the more popular, is called the educational note. This particular note, they made the 1, 2, and 5. It's just called a type note. People really love this note for 2 reasons. One, it is probably considered the most beautiful note ever printed by the United States government. And it came in 3 denominations, which made it very easy for people to collect 3 notes to have a set. This particular one is the only currency, and you might want to get a close shot of this, that shows a lady's bare breast.
Oh, yeah.
The story behind this note goes back in 1908 in Boston. There was a banker that owned 8 major banks who was a friend of the president. And back in those days, the woman's suffrage was a big upcoming event that eventually led up to the woman's right to vote.
Oh.
And if you'll notice this, the wife of the banker got very offended and got a petition going that all the ladies signed at the time to ban this note from being in circulation. And they even got her husband to ban it from any of his banks. And that's hence the term banned in Boston was started because of this. This right here is the 1922 $500 gold certificate. What made the gold certificate so popular back in the old days is it was actually backed by gold. You could take it down and demand gold coin or bullion. And try to imagine what $500 was worth, or what that meant to the economy at the time in 1922. It's probably like $10,000 is today. Consequently, a lot of these were not saved because of the sheer value of them. They were redeemed in and destroyed by the government. But this is the only note that they actually used the gold color. And they come to find out the gold did not hold up to the temperatures or to the sunlight or whatever, and a lot of them faded. So they never used gold again except for the 1928 small size. On the back gives you, it's got the burnt orange eagle, the color. This one's got a little fading on the back, but these are very extremely rare and expensive.
So how much does this type of currency go for?
This particular note, the 500, is right over $20,000 in today's market. These are no longer redeemable in gold itself, but they are still, if you went to a bank, would get $500 for it.
And as far as large currency in general, what is the most expensive note out there, would you say?
Well, probably some of your unique notes, the 1907 $1,000 set a record for well over $1 million in a currency sale.